What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon, and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and I am just as surprised as you are, because today we are talking about Thrawn Ascendancy, Book 1, Chaos Rising by Timothy Zahn. So, I read the first new Thrawn trilogy. Really didn't like it. Really wasn't for me, and a lot of you also really did point that out to me, so thanks a lot for that, guys. But a lot of people were talking about this. There was so much buzz around it. And when it was announced, I'm like, I'm not reading that. I was burned once by Thrawn. I don't like Timothy Zahn's writing. I don't need to put myself through this. But a lot of people whose opinions I do trust were reading this and they're like, oh my God, it's so good. It's so much better than the other ones. And it's all told from female perspectives and there are dates. What? There are dates in this book? So I was like, you know what? Fine, I'm going to the bookstore. If it's there, it's fate, I'll buy it. It's pretty enough anyway, I'll like owning it. So I bought it and I read it and I really liked this book. Thrawn Ascendancy is a prequel to the newer Thrawn trilogy. So in that trilogy, it was about Thrawn within the Empire. This story is about Thrawn when he is still with his fellow Chiss. In the Ascendancy, there is some outlying threats going on, and it's him through the eyes of other people. What I really liked about this book, and what I think really helped me enjoy it so much more, is that it's not told from Thrawn's perspective, and I really think that that allows you to see how other people think about Thrawn and how he comes off to other people. It was just so much better not being locked within his mind. And on top of that, it's also told from a lot of women. We have two in particular that are mostly telling this story who have ties to Thrawn from back when they were younger and now they're with him again. It was really cool to see the story through their eyes. We also get it from a couple of other characters here and there, but largely this is the story about there's this threat going on outside of the Ascendancy. The Ascendancy doesn't really care. They don't really want to do anything about it, but they call in Thrawn, and Thrawn's like, whoa, okay, we're gonna do some stuff here, and it gets a little bit crazy. And ultimately, if you've read the first trilogy, you know where this is going. You know that people don't like Thrawn, people don't think that he is right for the Ascendancy, they think that he poses some sort of danger to the Ascendancy, and somehow he's gonna get exiled, and somehow that's how he's going to get picked up by the Empire. So I in this first book, you're seeing the two sides of that. You are already seeing the people who were no, he's a danger, and also people saying oh, but yes, he is the shining light of the Ascendancy. So you're kind of getting to form your own opinion since you're not seeing it through Thrawn's eyes. The caveat with that is that every single character is so obsessed with Thrawn. It's almost laughable how obsessed with Thrawn every single character is. And largely the story is told from people who are on Thrawn's side, but it did make me feel a little bit weird just how obsessed with him they are, and how much we were talking about him, and I know the story is about him, but I do wish that we weren't reminded that every other paragraph, because every time I would really be settling into this and really enjoying it because it was characters interacting that were kind of outside of everything, then suddenly we'd be reminded with oh, but Thrawn is the great hero of the Ascendancy and blah blah, and it read very self-inserty to me and very Mary Sue, and go ahead, come at me in the comments if you want to. I'm still not a huge fan of Thrawn, but I did really like what this book did because it got me really invested in the Ascendancy. It got me really invested because we're completely outside of the Clone Wars. This whole story is going on while the Clone Wars are happening, and this group of planets, this cluster, is way out in the unknown regions, and they have nothing to do with the Clone Wars. They kind of know that they're going on, they think they're kind of trivial, they don't really care about it, and that was really fascinating. It was also really cool to see the politics that go on within the Ascendancy. I actually really enjoyed that, the hierarchies and everything. I really loved this frozen planet that has these underground mansions that I swear to God are the Beauty and the Beast castle. It was just really cool. And yes, there are dates. There is some romance, although I would not ever expect Timothy Zahn to actually go for it. There is no kissing. There is no any of that stuff. But dates were nice. It was pretty interesting. So overall, I did really like this book. My things that I didn't like were the overall obsessions with Thrawn. I also get this weird sense that Timothy Zahn kind of has this weird view of women. I have a feeling he's a strong defender of the slave Leia outfit being empowering, and that's just me. That's me going into it with my own preconceived notions, but that is kind of what I got taken out of it. So I'm giving this book a B+, and to my surprise, and to the surprise of everybody, I'm really excited to continue on with the series. Like, I'm actually really excited for the next one to come out. Like, I want to know what's gonna go on with like Arlani and like everybody. I'm sorry, I'm not pronouncing any names because I know I'm gonna pronounce them wrong, but I really liked her. I really liked the Skywalker. Like, I liked so much about this book. So I am excited. I would recommend it, actually. I actually think that this is a cool place to start, like, even if you don't know anything about Thrawn. I do think a lot of it is deeply rooted in that first trilogy he wrote, like, with the Disney acquisition, especially because, like, part of this does take place during those books. But at the same time, I feel like with this story, it's so different and it exists so much like outside of what we've already seen with Star Wars that like if this is your entry point, I think you would be totally fine. So I'm shook, you're shook, we're all surprised, but I'm giving this book a B+ and I really recommend checking it out. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below and don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every week. That is everything I got for you today, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.